outcompeting China will be key to our national security in the decades ahead. That will require a long-term, clear-eyed, bipartisan strategy. There are, however, a growing number of areas in which Xi's China is a formidable authoritarian adversary, methodically strengthening its capabilities to steal intellectual property, repress its own people, bully its neighbors, expand its global reach, and build influence in American society.
Let's get some live reaction from the United States and speak to Danny Coulson, a former Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI. Mr. Coulson, thank you so much indeed for joining us. If I could ask you, because we're talking a little bit about Trump politicizing intelligence, how happy the intelligence community overall is that there's a new president?
Well, I think a lot of them are happy. Some were very happy with Donald Trump, too. So remember, we live in a political world. I really like Burns. I like what he's saying. I totally agree with what he's saying. I just hope that he has welcome ears at the White House, because what he's saying is spot on, and we need to address China long ago. What they're doing today is what they did 30 years ago. So there's nothing new here with China. I'm very glad to hear what he's saying, and I have great hope for him.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that there's nothing new, because while the talk since Inauguration Day has been of a reset with Washington re-engaging with the world, William Burns is mentioning Russia, North Korea, Iran and China. Nothing new there, but will the approach then be different?
I hope so. China is a very wealthy nation, and they're absolutely determined to use world domination. And they do it through their intelligence services. They do it through their military might, by investments. I mean, it's like a giant corporation using all of its assets to gain world power. And they're using everything they have, from money to military power to espionage, stealing intellectual property and stealing military secrets. They're the best in the world at that. And it's time we stepped up the plate and did something about it.
Whenever we speak to representatives or people who are close to the Chinese government, they always say Beijing does not want to rule the world. But then we speak to other people whose loyalty is clearly towards Beijing. They say whatever the world thinks, it can't do anything because China's dominance is going to just be inevitable because we're such a huge country. So how does Joe Biden counter that in his 4 years?
That's a great question. We're a pretty big country, too. And we have more, I think, because of liberty and freedom and the free market. I think we're much stronger than they are. And I think we have to use our free market capability and keep our military strength up. They can do what they want to, and they're part of the world. But don't try to spread your influence, because I think the United States, frankly, is a more formidable opponent than China. So I don't feel that we are operating from a position of weakness. I think we're very strong. I think China knows that, and economically, we're even stronger than they are.
What do you think the intelligence community that will be serving Joe Biden is going to be saying about North Korea? It does seem, after 4 years of Donald Trump, that the overall opinion seems to be that the engagement during the Trump administration and Kim Jong-un was largely for show, because clearly it's led to absolutely nothing.
Well, if you look at history, all of our administrations have led to nothing with China. Nobody's been able to get that guy under control. Their country is in chaos. It is in starvation mode. And I don't think that Donald Trump did any worse than any of the others, frankly, than Clinton did or than the Bushes did. Nobody's been very successful with this guy, and the problem is logistics. We could deal with China very easily, but China is right there with our very valuable ally, South Korea, and that's the sticking point here. South Korea is within immediate range of the artillery, the very antiquated artillery of the North. But if we had a confrontation, it would be devastating to South Korea. So I think why Trump didn't accomplish a lot, nobody else has either.
As far as Iran is concerned, there's lots of talk about the Biden administration rejoining the nuclear treaty. We'll see what happens. But I just wanted to end by asking you about Vladimir Putin, because if we go back to Trump again, you'll remember that over his 4 years, a lot of allies of the United States were saying, look, we just have to wait 4 years and then we can probably get back to normal. But if you look at Russia, Vladimir Putin could be in power until the year 2030. So what does Joe Biden do about Vladimir Putin's Russia, and especially about the Russian president himself?
Well, again, a very powerful man in Putin, a very powerful country. We need to find a way to work with all these countries. Very frankly, to be adversarial with all of them, it's not good. I think one of the big benefits we have in our country is freedom and the free market. And I think we should use that to try to gain some influence and keep people pretty much on our side. Putin is, he's a despot, and he likes to show off, and he likes to run around with his shirt off and all that stuff. But frankly, we're stronger than they are, and we should act like it.
Danny Coulson, really appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Great questions. I appreciate talking to you.